What's up YouTube, this is Harvey1997 here, coming at you with a deck profile on Deskbots. Now this is a very budget friendly deck. I do have some techs in here that make it not so much, but and the extra deck, if you want to go full blown, can get a little pricey. But for the main deck, it's very budget friendly. You can, for the Deskbots themselves, you can get the entire core for $10, if that. So, and you don't really go into the extra deck too often, but except Deskbot Jet you will make when you can. But he's also very easy to get. He's a common. So, without any further ado, let's get started on the deck profile. Alright, so for the monster lineup, I have 2 Deskbot 1. Now, most people only run 1 copy of him, but I'll explain why I have 2 of them later. We have 3 Deskbot 2. One of the best Deskbots in the deck. Machine Dupe plus this card is like the godly play. Then we have 3 Deskbot 3, 3 Deskbot 4. There's really nothing to say about this. This is very standard to run 3 2s, 3 3s, 3 4s. They provide some of the most powerful plays the deck has by spamming and searching. Then we have 3 Deskbot 5. This is actually my personal favorite of the Deskbot monsters, mainly because, for one, you can machine dupe him and summon 2 more from the deck to get 3 back row destructions on your opponent in the same turn, assuming they all go through anyway. And then as well as that, he is level 5, so, you know, Nova and Infinity. When you get 3, when your opponent sees you machine dupe Deskbot 5, they'll be like, oh, okay, that's fine. Then they'll see the 2 back row destructions. It's like, well, do you really want to do anything about it? And then when you go into the Infinity, they just lost so much advantage on that. There's usually no coming back. But I really do love this card though. Then we have 2 Deskbot 6. Oh, and another thing I should say, 5 and 6, when they're in the scale and they get destroyed, they have additional effects. He's a Monster Reborn, and he is Monster Reincarnation, I guess. It adds a Deskbot from your graveyard to your hand. I think I've used it maybe once, twice. I know it has came up a couple times, but it's very rare. You can actually add Deskbot 10, or not 10s, my bad, Deskbot Jet back to your extra deck. If need be, to summon it again. It very rarely comes up, but it can. You generally use 6 to get your 3 back in your hand, so that you can normal summon the special summon something from the deck, or you can get 2 back to pendulum summon it and get another search. The pendulum aspect of this deck, you don't actually use the pendulums all the time. In fact, most of the time you'll generally just use like 5 as a like summon off of 3 or 4, and then machine dupe or whatever. Then 7 and 8 are the other 2. I'm playing one of each of them. These are more or less just fodder for Deskbot 4, but the fact that you have access to being able to pendulum summon is actually very nice. Again, I really like the fact that you have pendulums in this deck, but you don't have to desperately rely on them. Like, if you get hit with anti-spell, you're fine. It'll slow you down, right? But I mean, it doesn't kill you. So, I'm running 1 Genex ally Birdman. This card is great, mainly for bouncing back your Deskbot 3 after you normal summon it. It is dark, which is just a little unfortunate. If only it could be Earth. But nonetheless, this plus Deskbot 5 makes Ignister. Birdman plus Deskbot 7 makes Deskbot Jet. That's not the greatest play in the world, but I mean, if you really need access to Jet to get your combo started, this is a very nice way to do it. See, then I'm running 3 Maxx C. You could probably find something to switch these out for if you're wanting to make it more budget. I find Maxx C to be very good in this format, as well as very good in Deskbots. as a whole, because again, they are able to pendulum summon, and when you have Maxx C in a deck that can throw all your monsters from your hand onto the field at the same time, well, that's just very nice. Finally, I'm running 2 Kumongous, the Sticky String Kaiju. You could run Seal if you want, but I found it doesn't really matter for this deck specifically. See, the big thing is that all the Deskbot monsters, their attacks get increased in increments of 500. So if they're able to destroy Seal, they're able to destroy Kumongous. As for the extra deck, there's only 2 monsters in here that would be able to defeat Seal in battle, but wouldn't be able to defeat Kumongous, and that's probably not really going to come up anything. It's not a big deal to sub them out if you want to try and keep it more budget friendly. Alright, that's it for the monsters. And for the spells, 3 Machine Dupe. Like the thing that really gets things going in here. It's a free +1 if you use it on any of your Deskbots. If you use it on Deskbot 2, then on top of that +1, you also get 2 searches from your deck for an effective +3. And if you summon that Deskbot 2 off of Deskbot 3 on a normal summon, opening Deskbot 3 and Machine Dupe effectively lets you go +5. And that's with 2 cards. That's ignoring the other 3 cards in your hand. So, then we have 2 Twin Twisters. Deskbot 1 is a very good discard card. There are other things that are good for being discarded, since 4 can bring them back and 5 can bring them back. You don't really worry about discarding things from your hand very much, and this deck doesn't like back row because it's an OTK deck, or it can OTK. We have 1 Raigeki, 1 Dark Hole. Some people don't like to play these because they like to get the destruction effect off of Deskbot 4. I personally like them because I feel that it comes up a little bit more, that you'd rather just wipe the board and go for the damage that turn if you can. I don't think you should play 2 Dark Hole though. I think 1 and 1 is fine. Then the reason I have for playing 2 Deskbot 1s is I'm playing 1 for 1, because there really isn't an effective way to put Deskbot 1 in the graveyard. Some people like to play Foolish. I've found that to not be very good, because it makes you go minus. As I said, 1 for 1, it lets you put some of your Deskbots in the graveyard to be brought back, so it's not like it's a really big deal, but it lets you special summon your Deskbot 1 immediately, and that's actually what I like about it. So plus actually one of the ironic things is, if you open this and a Deskbot 1, it's actually one of the better ways to set up, because it ditches one of your ones and summons the other. So it's actually happened a few times, not too often, but it is nice to be able to do that. For the traps, main decking 3 Rivalry of Warlords. Next format, this probably isn't going to be too relevant. I'll probably have to switch this out for something else. But for now, while we have Burning Abyss running around so they can't make Dante, we have Monarchs that can't use their Squires, the Rivalry is very nice. Okay, so then we have 2 Call of the Haunteds. Mainly, its main purpose is on your opponent's end phase, Call of the Haunted, bring back, like a Deskbot 2 to get a search on their end phase, or bring back 5, pop back row on their end phase, things of that nature. Or if you, let's say you are you're just a little bit short of having game, your opponent lets all those attacks go through, then you flip your Call of the Haunted and bring something back to get that last little damage in. It's always nice. And also you can bring back things like Infinity after they've died. That's always nice to do too. We have 1 Bottomless and 1 Solemn Warning. Staples this format in my opinion. I definitely Solemn Warning anyway. Bottomless not quite as much, but it's still very useful to have. Alright, on to the extra deck. We have, for the Exceeses, rank 2, we have Sky Cavalry. Just make it with 2 2s. It's a good card, nice to have. I'm not playing any rank 3s, there's no reason to. Deskbot 3 is too good to make an exceed with it. Rank 4s, you have Gear Gigant and Castel. You'll rarely go into these two, but if you open like a weird hand like Deskbot 4, Machine Dupe, and something else, no way to really get your play started. You can Machine Dupe your 4, summon 2 more of them, overlay 2 of them for Gear Gigant, attach 1 to get a search, and then when 4 destroys something, it can actually, like when it sends something from deck to graveyard, you can special summon the thing you sent, whatever you added with Gear Gigant, or the 4 that you detached for Gear Gigant. Because although 4 cannot send 4 with his effect, he can special summon him. Then rank 5, Cyber Dragon Nova, right, and I guess kind of rank 6, but not really. You know, the other rank 5, Cyber Dragon Infinity. This deck having access to Infinity is pretty hilarious, so you always got to use it. Your synchros, 10, Deskbot Jet gets your combo started. 9, Trishula. It came up way too many times. It's very, very good. If you're trying to keep it budget, you could always sub it out for something like Mistworm. I mean, it'd probably just be better to just find something else for the extra deck rather than a level 9. But Trishula, if you have one, I highly recommend it. It's sensational in this deck. Level 8, you have Ignister. Now the only way to make this is with either Deskbot 3, Genex Ally Birdman and Deskbot 5, or Deskbot 1 and Deskbot 7, because it does take pendulums to synchro summon it. So you cannot make it with like 1, 3, and 4, for example, because 3 and 4 are not pendulums. But it's alright, it's still very useful to have, because you are running pendulums in your deck, so you can like destroy 5 or 6 and get their effects off, and then spend something, or if you're in the pendulum, if you're facing pendulums, you can destroy their stuff too. Level 7s, I only run the 1 Black Rose. I had Clearwing in here at one point. In fact, actually, I think Clearwing is supposed to be in here right now. Yeah, he is. This is a 14 card extra deck. My Clearwing is in another deck. But yeah, I did take it out because I wasn't really using it a whole lot. You can live without it. I don't think I've ever actually went into Clearwing now that I think about it, but it was just my other level 7. Black Rose is also nice to have. Plus, if you do destroy your whole field and you destroy your scales, you get their effects off after the field nukes. That's nice. Level 6s, I'm running 1 Horus and 1 Barkion. Barkion isn't made a whole lot because most traps this format are counter traps, but it's still nice to have access to. Level 5s, Naturia Beast, and Ally of Justice Cataster. As I said before about this deck having access to Infinity being hilarious, it also has an access to Naturia Beast, which is even better. Then Cataster, which is mainly just used for synchroing with 1 and 4 to make this, and then you overlay this in your 1 Deskbot 5 to make Nova Infinity. And then for a level 4, we're playing Herald of the Arclight just to get the random negation in. So, yeah, that is the deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it. As I said, this is one of my personal favorite decks. Rogue deck having access to Naturia Beast, Cyber Dragon Infinity, Trishula, and Ignister. It's amazing, honestly. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head that has the same access. And also, again, from a budget deck. So, thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you in my next one.